You'll have to excuse me. Sometimes I still forget my own name. But I know that I'm 22 years old, and my family lied to me after I got brain trauma that triggered what they called... Hold on, I know this. Retrograde amnesia. That's it. You're probably wondering what happened to me, and how long I was blacked out and all that stuff, but the only thing I remembered was... Hold on. Make sure to like and subscribe for more hidden wisdom stories. So, the first thing I remember was the nurse. I couldn't remember my name or what I was doing in a hospital. After an hour, I was able to speak. By that time, the hospital had informed my family, and they were ready to meet me. I was hoping their faces would jog my memory, but they were all strangers. A woman named Kathleen introduced herself as my mother and was really warm, but the rest of my family seemed pretty distant. The doctors did some testing, and I had what they called a strong semantic memory. So I could tell you that Columbus sailed the ocean blue in 1492, but when it came to anything personal, I was at a loss. They recommended an occupational therapist, but my mother said she knew what was best. It wasn't until we made it home that my mother introduced me to myself. My name was Greg, and I lived in a humongous mansion. My family came from great wealth, and my mother was a socialite. She showed me all kinds of photos of me and the family, and it was like my future and past was all laid out right there in front of me. My mother believed you had to appear successful to be successful. So there were a lot of rules about where we could dine and what we could wear, and I asked her if I had a job, but she just said that jobs were for the common, and that our family was too good for all that. The next few weeks were a blur, and the home I lived in was huge. Sometimes I'd even get lost. One time I found a photo of a beautiful woman and I together. I turned it over and it said, "Love you always, Bianca." Bianca? Who is this Bianca? And just then, flash, a memory came flooding back. I was standing outside an apartment. It was raining. I kept calling that name. Bianca! Just over and over again. But that was all I could remember. When I asked my mother about her, she said Bianca wasn't allowed in this house and that she was a tramp and had broken my heart. We started arguing about it, and I told my mom that I would find Bianca with or without her help. But my mom said she would never allow that, and she stormed off. After I cooled down, I was going to apologize to my mother, but then I heard her on the phone. She was trying to keep her voice down, but she was clearly angry. Then I realized who she was talking to. It was Bianca. So I picked up the receiver in the other room. I heard my mother telling her to stay away. Bianca said she only wanted to help. Then my mother said it was all her fault and that she couldn't take care of me because she didn't know what was best for me. Maybe he needs to learn how to take care of himself, Bianca told my mom. And then she hung up. I could hear my mother cursing her name. I was feeling overwhelmed. Suddenly my emotion boiled over and my memory came back. Not all of it, just another flash. It was raining, like before. This time I was chasing Bianca through the streets, trying to get her to speak with me. She didn't even have an umbrella, and I knew that if I could get her to just talk to me, I might not lose her. I told her we would figure things out, but she just said that she couldn't be with somebody who relied on old money, and she ran across the street. Bianca! I called, running after her, but just then I was blinded by headlights, and the sound of screeching tires shattered my eardrums. The next thing I remember was Bianca. My blood was on her dress. She was holding me. And then the nurse was asking me to blink, and my mother was taking me home. Everything was still confusing for me, but I felt such a loss. I needed to talk to Bianca. When my mother took her afternoon nap, I hit redial and called Bianca. She started crying when she heard my voice. We met up in the park a few hours later, and she told me she tried to visit, but my mother kept her away. I told her I was so sorry, that the last thing I remembered was wanting to be with her. I told her that I would do whatever it took. She kissed me, and it was like all the lights got turned back on. Not only could I remember Bianca and that night, I could remember everything. My whole memory was back. And it's funny, I saw myself much more clearly. I was a spoiled rich kid who didn't want to work. And in Bianca's eyes, I could never be my own man. You know, I thought that I had so much. But after the accident, I realized that none of it mattered if I wasn't making my own way. I started to think that money can really hold you back, which may sound backwards, but there's this saying that God helps those who help themselves. And I think it's really true. My whole life before that accident, I expected a lot from others. And now I'm starting to expect something for myself. And would you believe it? I got my first job. What do you expect from yourself? Tell me about it in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more hidden wisdom stories. Remember, when you share our stories, you're sharing wisdom.